What's up, guys? Spectacular Squad Spider 118 here, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about how does a Spider-Man costume age over a decade. So, just a quick disclaimer here. Sorry for any background noises. First off, I have cats. Second off, I have an AC unit that's running, so it's a little loud in this place. But you can actually maybe hear my cat walking around in the background. In fact, one of them actually just came out from under this couch, so everyone say hi to Albert. Okay, he doesn't want to play right now. So, anyway, as you guys know, it's my 10th anniversary on the channel, and I made this channel way back when to basically make updates and celebrate the creation of this old Zentai Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider costume. The first suit that I had ordered online all those years ago, and it's not my first spandex suit. That'd be my original Party City suit, but since suits ordered from websites tend to be the standard in the community, I figured this would be an interesting opportunity to maybe go into a deep dive about how these costumes even age. So I'm gonna kind of do a quick overview like I'm doing here. This is gonna be similar to a suit review. I'm probably not going to put the costume on for this, but I'm going to, talk about it here. Talk a little bit about the hoodie. Now, this is something that I made myself, so you can't buy this, but I figured I'd mention how this is held up too. But I'll get to that in a moment. And then I'll just take the camera off my tripod here, lay it down, do a deep dive like I used to, and just show you up close and personal with a couple of details on this thing. But this suit, 10 years ago, I mean, that's crazy. It's held up pretty well. Now, I will say, as a disclaimer, this is a costume that I used to wear religiously. I wore it to 3, 4, maybe 5 cons back in the day, because I didn't have that many costumes like I do now. I am definitely very spoiled with what I have, and I'm very thankful for you guys who use code SCARLET118 at Print Costume, which does help give me costumes to fuel for content and stuff. Saves you 15% off, but that's neither here nor there. But back in the day, I only had this. I only had my homemade cane suit, which I didn't really want to wear because it was, well, go watch my video about how I washed it for the first time in 10 years. And then my Party City suit until I got suits from Zentai Zone. But, so this suit has seen a lot. It went through a lot of different weird phases where it wasn't done pretty much for like 2 years, and still I'd consider I never actually finished all the accessories. So it's seen its wear and tear. But with this disclaimer I'm giving you guys, I also stopped wearing it past 2019 for the most part. So when I say 10 years, I mean a lot of this is shelf life, basically sitting in my closet. But, I did, actively wear it on the channel for these cons, around the house just for fun photo shoots and stuff like that, for a good chunk of time there. So let's just get straight into it. I will say right off the bat, you can see the lenses. This one is dangerously coming off. This one is kind of peeling off here. They're coming off. I don't really remember from the looks of it. It looks like I haven't re-glued it. I can usually tell when I re-glue something lens. Mostly because I can see, nowadays I use hot glue a lot of the time because I just have the expert level of precision when it comes to the timing it takes to glue something down. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that if you're doing it for the first time. And I can actually see the white markings from the EVA foam that Zentai used on these lenses, from where it was. I don't know if you can see it. I'll show it more in the up close and personal part, but you can kind of see white markings on there. So that's a little disappointing that it's coming off like that. I'll have to fix that. Maybe I'll do a video about that. So that's a pretty big detractor from how this thing is held up over time. Otherwise, I mean, it still fits me. The costume fits just fine because I got it in a large size. I didn't get custom measures. So I will say, I'm sure that if you were a couple sizes lower, when you were 10 years younger, and you get something custom measured, it might not fit the same, but if you get like a large or a medium and then you kind of stay within that range, you're gonna be able to fit in the costume. Another thing, to note is looking at the fingers and stuff. A common thing with Spider-Man suits, especially if you're wearing them outside, is the fact that you're gonna get these fuzzies on your fingers. Mine on this are, they look pretty worn out. Again, I'll go into up close and personal in a moment, but it's a given that this is going to happen with a Spider-Man suit. It's just wear and tear from doing wall poses or ground poses, just picking things up. So I would say that that's aged pretty well. The zipper, I think, I legitimately forgot that my first suit that I ordered was a U-shaped zipper. I'm notoriously known for not liking U-shaped zippers. They're just, in my opinion, I just don't prefer them. But I forgot that the zipper was U-shaped, and actually it's held up pretty well over the years. I've heard stories about people whose zippers break all the time. The only suit that I've ever really have issues with the zippers is actually my latest suit. It's a Party City remake suit. The zippers are so stiff on that thing for no reason. But the zippers have held up actually fairly well on this suit, I will say. So zippers, if you take care of them, will last you. If you don't, then I guess if you just just rip it off like that, then it won't. And I have a mask zipper on this as well. This one, it doesn't, it's not as smooth, I will say, but it still zips. Try to be a little gentle with it. I did not have shoes on this original costume, if I could find the feet. So, I don't have to really worry about soles coming off. I will say, as a quick disclaimer, maybe I might do a 10-year overview of my old Raimi suit, but my old Raimi suit from Zentai Zone actually, did have the soles come off a couple of years into me owning it, and it's a little disappointing because that's how you wear a suit. So I would definitely recommend Kung Fu shoes. I've never really had issues with those. But like I said, I had my soles on that costume come off, and that costume is 9 years old now, if that tells you anything about owning a suit for almost a decade or a decade. If you get soles, they might be bound to come off. So anyway, that's kind of me doing an overview here. I'll talk more about the hoodie in a second. But I'm going to go flip the camera around now, and I will show you guys up close more of the details of this thing. And yeah, let's just go do that. Okay guys, here's the up close and personal view that I promised you. Like I said, these things will, have their faults. Like I'm looking at the lens specifically here. There it goes, it's focused now. This one's still holding on a little bit for dear life. This one has completely popped off though, which is a little unfortunate. Like you can see inside where I cut my original eye hole. I just remember my parents being like, be careful where you cut it, because if you cut it, you'll mess it up. Now, the pattern itself, kind of hard to see, but it does have that Raimi brick pattern. I think this was, based off the Spidey for Fun suit that I was inspired by all those years ago. So obviously, of course, very Raimi influenced. The brick pattern's really not showing up that well, but biggest detractor here for it holding up is definitely the lenses popping out, although that's an easy fix. So like I said, I'll probably do that for you guys. Again, the finger fuzz, unfortunately, it's kind of sanded my fingers down a bit more. An easy fix for this that I've seen is, you can take a razor blade and kind of just slice off the little fuzzies. Although I will say, my camera's being hard to pick this up for some reason. If I can get it to focus, it's looking like on some of the fingers it's more worn down than others, unfortunately. That's just part of the wear and tear over the years. Otherwise, as I said, this suit is in decent condition, and that's mostly because, again, it's maintained its shelf life in my closet. So a lot of the damage, in fact, I'd say probably the lens popping off probably was due to me not storing it right. Unfortunately, I didn't really always take the best care of this thing when storing it. Just kind of throw it in a box and with other costumes and call it a day. And I think the past couple of years of me misstoring it has caused it to come off like that, because otherwise there's not much that would cause a lens to pop off like that. Sometimes glue will fail you, I don't remember. I think I might have used E6000 because that was what I saw back in the day on YouTube, what to use for lens gluing. But I could be wrong about that. I don't exactly remember the exact glue that I used. But the suit's in decent condition for how old it is. All I really need to do to fix it up is to glue the lens back on. I don't think I have any holes in this thing. I'm just trying to remember. I feel like I remember there was a hole on a finger somewhere, but I could be wrong. I think that might not be accurate. So, eventually I'll try this thing back on, but maybe I'll do a little update there. Now, of course, this isn't really spandex, so this is kind of a mute point to talk about the hoodie. But I do want to talk about, because it's a big part of the Scarlet Spider costume, and the one that I made is seeing its age come through. Now, I haven't worn this specific hoodie in a couple years, probably since the last time I wore that thing. But the process of what I did to make this hoodie was I back then, there wasn't crazy tutorials on how to do these things, guys. Trust me. 10 years ago making this costume, I was kind of on my own trying to figure it out. So I was like, how the hell do you make a Scarlet Spider hoodie? I didn't want to marker it on, because the last time I did that, with my first costume I ever did, I cannot speak today, guys, I'm so sorry, was not, in my opinion, a great success. I also had the hiccups, sorry. Was not a great success. So with this one, I researched. I thought about spray painting a template onto there, but I just did not do that. I actually did iron-on transfers for the front and back, which took a while to figure out, guys. I mean, trying to make a hoodie, I was like, how? So I got iron-on sheets for fabric shirts and stuff at Michael's, printed this bad boy out, and then had my mom help me X-Acto blade the whole thing out and then iron it on. And you can see from where I originally cut some of this out from the paper, the transfer paper, that those little white marks are from that. And I've been trying to be careful with this thing throughout the years. I wash it by hand, and you can see the age on it a little bit. Now my camera might not pick up this super well, but there's discoloration in the spider here. My lighting might be a little warm, so it might not pick it up. But the rest is kind of black. But as we get into the center here, and I think this might just be UV damage, but it's become faded into a blue. And over here you can see there's actually, I think this might be just damage to the iron-on transfer itself. But there's that white mark right there, not from the original suit. That's just damage has come to the actual print itself. The hoodie itself is fine. I mean, I tore the sleeves off, or ripped them off, cut them off, whatever you want to say. In fact, I will say this is probably my most, aside from maybe my Across the Spider-Verse suit, this is probably my most comfortable Scarlet Spider hoodie that I've had, just because it's the material is pretty light, and it's a lighter hoodie. The others I've made, unfortunately, have been like these heavier jackets, and the Spidey for Fun logos on them have made it just that much more heavier and a little bit more uncomfortable. But it's not the end of the world. A hoodie's a hoodie. But same thing back here. The discoloration, you can maybe see it starts kind of darker, and then it gets into this lighter blue territory. Not amazing, but whatever. It's a hoodie. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will say strong things about this costume. I have a lot of fond memories with it. It holds up well over time. Just take care of your Spider-Man suits. That's all I can really say. If you wear it down, that's fine. If you love your suit, wear it as much as you want. I'm not telling you not to wear your suits, because again, this has been in my closet for so many years. But if you want it to last, you're gonna have to store it properly, unlike I did. Make sure you're washing it carefully. Try not to, ruin the fingers and stuff. But I don't know. I will say I'm interested to do another one of these 10-year, decade long. How will it hold up over 10 years with the Raimi suit? Because again, like I said, it has the soles that came off on it. So I will just maybe see if that one holds up better to this or worse. I might do with my Kane Zentai Zone suit as well that I got 10 years ago next year, just because there's a few differences between those Kane and Raimi with what is wrong with each of them. Maybe I'll do them at the same time, actually, because I got them at the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And so, yeah, let me just do a quick outro for you guys, I guess. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate you guys' support and stuff like this, especially over 10 years, and this costume being a testament to that. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought down below. Do you have any costumes that are 10 years old? How have they held up? And, you know, I hope this video was helpful to show you guys the longevity. If you take care of your Spider-Man suits, you know, they will last. But thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Use code SCARLET118 at printcostume.com for 15% off your order. Follow me on Instagram at Spectacular Scarlet Spider. Follow me on Twitter at Scarlet Spidey 19. I forget what it is. I'll probably link it below. If I don't, then I don't. Whatever. Yeah, but thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Spectacular Scarlet Spider 118 out. See you guys.